Hello and welcome to another episode of Wayne's World Fishing. Now today, as you can see, I'm not at the water's edge. No, the start of this video is how to make the bait that we're going to use to hopefully try and catch some chub. Now, what baits do chub take? You're probably asking yourself, what bait is he going to make? Right, well I'm not going to be making things like worms and maggots. I can't do that. Chub will take anything, from worms, maggots, boilies, pellets, you name it, chub will take it. But they do have a soft spot for cheese or cheese-based products. In the past, I have caught chub on just lumps of cheese, just literally a piece of cheddar on the hook. I've actually caught chub and carp and loads of other species just with cheese. But today I'm going to be showing you how to make cheese paste. You're probably thinking, well, what's the difference between making cheese paste, what's so great about that, and a bit of cheddar cheese? Like, cheddar cheese, don't get me wrong, it's potent, smells, it's smelly old cheese, but if you make cheese paste, guys, you can add all your own little ingredients, put your own little twist on it, and that stuff can really smell, and it really can attract some chub, and most other fish, if they're in the swim, will come in for cheese paste, provided you, I say, get it right. But there is no wrong way of making cheese paste, trust me. There's loads and different ways of making cheese paste. The internet is your friend. Go online, figure out a way of how you make it. This is my way, and to be fair to you, I don't have a consistent way. Every time I make cheese paste, I tend to do it slightly different, add something or take something away. So I'm going to knock up some cheese paste today. I'll show you guys how to do it, and then we're going to go out and give it a test and see if we can actually catch some chub with the cheese paste. So, further ado, let's make some cheese paste. Well, first of all, it goes without saying, good old-fashioned bit of cheese. You can't make cheese paste without cheese, guys, believe it or not. It's called a key ingredient. Now, it's entirely up to you where you get your cheese from. Cheaper the better. If you can get it in a special sale, then do so. Chub, barbel, carp, you name it, they're not fussy. They don't care if it's special, it's super expensive cheese. So, bit of cheese. So I've got a bit of cheddar. I'm going to grate that up and stick that in the bowl. That's first things first. So, let's grate it up. As you can see, guys, I've grated that cheese there, that bit of cheddar. I've only done half of it. I don't want to do all of it just yet. I might save a bit for future bait, making up some cheese paste in the future. Anyways, what I'm going to add to that is a bit of blue cheese. As I said before, cheddar's great. Doesn't matter how mature it is, though. It will never smell as bad as this stuff. It doesn't have to be the expensive stuff. You can buy it in the sale or just get the home brand, but provided you buy blue cheese, because it really does smell. What do you call sad cheese? Blue cheese, because it's blue. Oh, trust me, the gags don't get much better than that. Right, I'm going to be putting a bit of this in here, grate it up as well, guys. And the reason why you'd grate it up rather than just to put lumps of cheese in, trust me, when you need it at the end, when you mix it together, you try and do that with squares of cheese. Grate it. So let's put this in. Right, not sure if you can see that. Well, you should be able to see that. That's the cheeses in there. That's your blue cheese and your cheddar. That's all grated up there. So that's great. Little joke there, little pun. But next bit, put some garlic in. Not for any reason, just in case you're attacked by vampires. Not really. Trust me, guys. This will be an amazing company in the cheese paste. It's entirely up to you. Depends how much cheese paste you've got. If you've got loads and loads of cheese paste like that, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, or 2 or 3 rather, I'll probably end up putting a whole lot in. It's going to stink, trust me, it's going to stink, but it is worth it. They love a bit of cheese and garlic. There's going to be more cheese and garlic in there than inside of a Frenchman's pocket. Let's get on with it. Quick side note, guys, little tip here. Before you add anything super potent to your mixture, your cheese paste, like garlic or oils or anything along those lines, garlic paste is even used as well if you can't afford to get any garlic. Get yourself a pair of rubber gloves, because once you start touching this cheese and garlic, it will be stuck on your hands for days, and it will be all you can smell for days, trust me, guys. So I've been there, I've done that. Don't do it. Wear rubber gloves. Once you finish making up the bait, chuck it away. Yes, you'll probably smell when you go to put it on the hook and so on, but it's not half as bad as if when you're got your hands in it, kneading it and cutting it all up and that, it will just get under your fingernails. Trust me. So get yourself a pair of rubber gloves, okay? Go down, I don't know, wherever you need to go and get them. Get some disposable rubber gloves. Don't say I didn't warn you. Well, let's get back to cutting it all up. Well guys, that's all the garlic there chopped up. That's going to be now going in with all the cheese. I'll just chuck that in. I don't have a garlic crusher, so I've had to do that with a knife, but if you've got a garlic crusher it'll be a lot easier. But it didn't take too long. It's just a bit of a pain, and it doesn't matter if there's a bit of the garlic crust and whatnot, the skin rather, it doesn't matter, they don't mind. So that will go in there. Lovely. Look, that's the cheese, the two types of cheese and the garlic in there. Just mix them up. Try not to like squash it too much at the moment because it's still very loose. So what you want to do is mix it slightly while it's all still loose, so it's an even mix. It doesn't need to be too vigorous. Right, now if you was to roll that now, you could probably use that on the hook, but I'm going to add some more bits to it, i.e. bread. So let's get to liquidising some bread. Right guys, as you can see, I've got some white bread there, just a normal box standard cut loaf. I've cut the crusts off, and admittedly it's not the greatest liquidizer. It's a NutriBullet, which is used for making smoothies and stuff like that, but I don't see why it can't blitz up some white bread. So I'm going to chuck this in, blitz it up, add it to the mixture. Now I've liquidised the bread, I put that in there, and I'll be mixing all that in a little while. With the excess bread, what I did is I liquidised the whole thing. Keep the excess bread with you. Reason being is, at a later date, what we're going to do is there'll be cheese paste on the hook, but in the cage feeder, I'll be putting a bit of the old liquidised bread. There's nothing better, guys, for a chub, a barbel, anything like that, even bream, than a bit of old liquidised bread. They love it. Mix that with whatever you want, sort of thing, you know, your own kind of ground bait to bulk it out. Or what I'll be doing is I'll be using this and I'll be mixing it with a little bit of cheese oil. Oh, fantastic idea. So anyway, my next bit, the secret ingredient. Well, as I said guys, you've seen cheese paste made 1,000 times by hundreds and hundreds of different people. Put your own twist on it. Mine isn't finished yet, as you know, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something a little bit special. Oh, Doritos. These things, not do I just like eating them, but these things are really, really cheesy. So what you can do is, I'm going to put these in the liquidizer like I did the bread, so they bashes them up to a bit of a powder, is what I'm looking for, like a cheese powder, and that's going in. Because you can buy cheese powders, but they're very hard to come by. So what I would say is, you know, if you can make your own, do it. So these will break down and they'll be doubled up as a cheese powder. Not only that, they're bright orange, which will add a little bit of colour to this bait, and that should give them a bit of a more of a attractant. So yeah, not too bad, eh? What did the Mexican guy say to the person that stole his cheese? He said, "Nacho cheese, nacho cheese." Oh, these jokes are getting better and better. Let's put them in the mix. Now, if you find the consistency is a little bit on the dry side, you've got to, well, what I do is add some of this. It's Sonu Baits hemp and garlic and cheese oil. Now guys, I've used, as you can see, I've used this stuff before. It stinks, but it will do the job. It will help. So you can add other things, olive oil or margarine or something like that to help bind it. But trust me, this, if you can get your hands on some of this stuff, this is the stuff. If things are, again, if it's the opposite way and it's still a bit on the wet side, still a little bit too pasty, then what you can do is you can add some more bread or a bit of flour just to start binding or start drying it out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, I find this at the moment, it's nice and fluffy, but as a binding agent, this stuff's going to do great. So I'm going to put a few drops of this oil in and then I'll mix it up. Right, and there you have it guys, one big mountain of cheese paste. Now this stuff, yeah, it's nice. Look at the consistency. You've got all kinds of little bits and bobs, and bits of garlic and cheese, and well, as you saw, everything basically. And obviously what's giving it that orange glow is the crisps, the Doritos. They've really given it like a orange pop. Now the consistency is completely down to you guys, how you want it. Me personally, I used to have it so it was like a real sticky clay But what I found when you have it at that consistency is that there's a lot of cheese content, and if that's the case, then when you do get a little ball and you know you roll up a little ball like I don't know what it is, about 16 mil for instance, like if you roll that up, you put that on the hook, because in this time of the year, because the weather's cold, if it's very, very sticky, it tends to mean that there's a lot of fat in it, and the cold water, once it gets to the fat, will harden it up. It'll make the hook pull out of the bait a lot harder. So I mean, I don't really have that problem anymore, because I'm going to show you guys how to hook this in my way, in my opinion, the best way. I used to just mould this around the hook itself. You can do that, it still will work. As you can see, it's like it's a consistency of like a Play-Doh kind of consistency. You can mould that onto the hook itself, and that'll nicely pull out. You don't want it too sticky, as I say, because there'll be far too much fat, and the fat will congeal and it'll make it hard in the cold water. So we've got, I can admit as well guys, yes, I have got a hell of a lot of cheese here, hell of a lot of cheese paste. No, I'm not going to use all of this in one session. I'll be putting most of this in the freezer for later dates. Just break yourself off, I don't know, a golf ball size, maybe something like that for instance, and you can take that, wrap that up in cling film or a bit of tin foil, and just pinch a little bits off as hook bait. When you will, and also at that size it will thaw out a lot quicker as well. So right, that's the bait made. Yes, this is my way. Yes, it will change the next time I make it and the time after that. There is a million and other ways of making cheese paste. Find your own way of doing it. This is my way. If you want to follow it, be my guest. Let's take this out onto the field and give it a go, see if it actually will catch us some chub. Well, if you're gonna tie this up guys, you can use any kind of hook link, but I've been using this IQ. I've been using it for carp fishing, but I found this stuff to be fantastic. It's quite rigid, so the presentation when you cast out, your hook link stays nice and straight. I've found it's very, very expensive, but it is worth the money. I've tied hook links with braid and mono and fluoro, and this, in fact I think this is actually fluoro, but it is good stuff nevertheless. As I say, I like the fact it's very rigid. It will, you know, straight, nice and straight, and good presentation. So anyway, what we need to do is take off, I don't know, what's that there, about 4 foot, 3 foot, 3.5 foot. You don't want your hook link too short guys, so cut a bit of that off. Right, I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs. What you need to do is, first things first, tie yourself a small loop in that, okay? Right, that's a bit better. Right, don't know if you can see that on the camera. Right, a nice little loop there, and that's going to be basically your hair. Now, as for the hook, I'm using these Drennan Super Specialist size 8s. They're micro barbed. Yes, use barbless where you can guys, but I like the micro barb. They just give me that little bit of extra hold. I feel that they go that little extra mile. Right, now you thread this. This is obviously a knotless knot, so I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs. If you don't know how to tie a knotless knot, go figure it out. It's not hard, it really isn't. Right, for the next step is trying to somehow get that paste onto this hair. How are you going to do it? Well, there's a trick to it, and that is to use yourself some kind of other bait. Now I know it sounds mad, but if you put a pellet, or if you put a chopped down boilie, nothing too big, don't forget, because you've got to mould the paste around it. But what I'm going to use is one of these bits of artificial corn. I find them to be not too big, not too small, so I'm going to put one of them on. And I'll show you, just put that on quickly, put a bait stop in there. I've got some bait stops here, and then what I'll do is I'll mould the paste around that. I'll show you how it works. Right, as said guys, what I've done there on the hair, I've just put a bit of corn. I don't think, yeah, you can see that on camera there. So what I said, I've just put a bit of corn there on the hair. Now you can put anything on the hair, a little pellet, or you can cut down a boilie. But make sure guys it's not too big, because look, you're only using a size 8 hook, so you don't want something that's like 18-20 mil big, because chub do have big mouths but not that big. So right, anyway, this is what you need to start with, something pretty solid. Reason being, this stuff is hard to mould around the, well, so you can get it around the hook obviously, but what you do is break off a bit of your cheese paste like so, and then you squash whatever you've put on the hair around your cheese paste, and voila, there you go. And well, what I'll do is I'll break a bit of that off because it's a bit too much anyway. Right, that looks a bit better. That is the sort of size I'm looking for. Now you can't really tell that the corn's in there, and even if you look, actually, there, if you can see that the corn's coming through slightly, but if you had corn or pellet and it came through, no big deal, because it looks quite natural in there. There you go. That trust me, will work. I'm going to take that out, I'm going to use that, and that will 1,000,000% will work. It's worked before, it'll work again. And as I said, now look at the hook there. Obviously, because it's on the hair, the hook is going to get a good hold. You're going to strike, and it's going to be decent first time, every time. So anyway, let's get out of there and give it a go. Well, Kyle seems to have caught himself a big trout. Not the chub we were after, but not bad nevertheless. Let's go have a look at it.
Right, here we go guys, a little bonus fish from the weir pool, a little brown trout. I was using the cheese paste but no luck, so I had a little go over lobworm, and here's the result. So yeah.
Right. Now tell me my cheese paste don't work. Tell me my cheese paste does not work. Look at that. That is an absolute cracking chub, guys, at anybody's standard. Over them, that is best part of what, £5 plus. It's probably a PB for me. That is a cracking chub. You'll probably see on the camera, hopefully I got that. That was a right old stonking take. And he zoomed around the swim, something rotten, and it was just in the lip, literally just in the lip. So what a fish, over the moon with that. I'm just gonna get a few pictures and slip him back. You absolute beast. You love the old cheese, but they love the cheese paste. Don't say I didn't tell you guys. Proof's in the pudding. Subscribe on the chub. Look at that.